Have you ever felt trapped, investing your precious time and energy into someone who simply isn't worth it? I remember vividly when a good friend of mine, Alex, a talented, ambitious guy living in Chicago, poured years of his life into a relationship he thought would fulfill him. From the outside, everything seemed perfect, until one day he realized he was exhausted, unhappy, and completely drained emotionally. He told me, "I feel like I'm losing myself, and I don't even know who I am anymore." Let me ask you this, and think carefully: what if, right now, you're unknowingly wasting the most valuable resource you have, your time, on someone who doesn't deserve a single second of it? Ancient philosophers and wise men throughout history have always taught us one crucial lesson: our relationships shape our lives. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts and relationships." The truth is, many of us ignore subtle warnings and red flags until it's too late. But it doesn't have to be this way. Today, together, we're going to uncover the 25 unmistakable signs she's not worth your time. By the end of this video, you'll clearly recognize these signs and protect your valuable energy, peace of mind, and future success. More importantly, you'll learn practical solutions and strategies to confidently handle these challenging relationships, turning potential heartbreak into powerful opportunities for personal growth. Because remember, awareness is the first step toward real freedom, happiness, and meaningful success. You're not alone, and your life can absolutely become peaceful, fulfilling, and deeply rewarding when you choose wisely whom to keep close. So, before we dive deeper, quickly tell me this in the comments below: have you ever experienced the uneasy feeling that you might be wasting your time on someone? Simply type yes or no, it'll help me understand your experiences better, and trust me, you'll be surprised how many others share your feelings. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn will not only open your eyes but also empower you to live a life of deeper meaning, inner peace, and genuine happiness. Welcome to Unmasking Personality, where you take control by truly understanding the people around you. Let's get started. I want to share a powerful and deeply insightful story that might resonate with many of you watching right now. Several years ago, I met a remarkable young entrepreneur named Mike, who was thriving professionally in the fast-paced environment of New York City. Mike was smart, ambitious, and had built an impressive career from scratch, admired by many. But beneath his confident exterior was a personal struggle that drained him mentally and emotionally. You see, Mike had been in a relationship for 5 years with a woman who seemed perfect on paper, charming, beautiful, and socially skilled. But slowly, he began noticing unsettling patterns. She consistently showed more excitement over expensive gifts than meaningful conversations. Mike felt he had to constantly prove his worth through money, prestige, and status. When Mike faced tough times in business, instead of finding support, he received criticism and emotional distance. Gradually, he recognized a painful truth: she valued his wealth and reputation far more than she valued him. One night, sitting in his empty Manhattan apartment, Mike reflected deeply on the words of the great philosopher Seneca: "It is not that we have so little time, but that we waste so much of it." Mike realized he had been wasting his precious time, energy, and resources on someone who was not truly invested in his happiness or personal growth. The awareness was difficult, yet profoundly liberating. Now, why does Mike's story matter to you? Because each one of us carries the risk of investing ourselves into relationships that do not deserve us. Recognizing these warning signs early can save you not only years of emotional pain, but also preserve your mental clarity, financial stability, and ultimately, your overall happiness and success. Understanding human behavior, spotting these subtle yet unmistakable signals, empowers you to make wise decisions about whom you choose to keep close in your life. Early recognition gives you the strength and wisdom to step away before you're drained completely. It protects your emotional health and allows you to focus your valuable energy on relationships that uplift, inspire, and genuinely support your growth. As we continue, I want you to reflect quietly on your current relationships. Have you noticed similar patterns to Mike's experience? If you're comfortable sharing, simply leave a brief comment like, "I've been there," or "I understand, Mike." It's a simple act, but it lets others know they're not alone, and it helps you take the first step toward clarity and change. Stay with me, because up next, we're diving into the critical signs you need to know. These insights could completely transform your relationships, your mindset, and the direction of your life. Let's begin by exploring the first group of critical red flags, emotional warning signs. These signs can subtly erode your happiness, inner peace, and your sense of self-worth, leaving you feeling lost, drained, or even broken. As we discuss these, I want you to reflect carefully. If you notice even one of these signs consistently, it's time to pause, reassess, and act decisively. The first emotional red flag is selfishness. I recall vividly a conversation with my friend, Jake, a talented software developer in San Francisco. Jake was successful, kind-hearted, and generous to a fault. He gave endlessly to his girlfriend, Amy, emotionally and financially, yet he always felt something was off. Whenever Jake faced challenges or needed emotional support, Amy would vanish emotionally, always finding reasons to prioritize her own desires. The philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." Jake realized Amy's selfishness was beyond his control, but how he responded to it was entirely within his grasp. He understood that true partnership requires mutual respect, care, and giving. Ask yourself, is your partner genuinely happy when you succeed, or are they only focused on their own interests? Do they reciprocate the effort you invest, or do they consistently put their own needs first, leaving you emotionally depleted? The second emotional red flag is a lack of support. Think about this carefully. A healthy relationship is a supportive partnership. Your partner should be your greatest cheerleader, your confidant, someone who actively contributes to your growth and success. Consider Emily, a graphic designer from Seattle. She once shared with me how deeply unsupported she felt when her partner ignored her accomplishments, or worse, downplayed her achievements. Emily eventually realized that her partner's lack of support wasn't just emotional neglect, it was a sign of hidden resentment and insecurity. Remember the timeless wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When you surround yourself with supportive, positive energy, your entire life transforms accordingly. Now, pause for a moment and reflect, is your partner truly supporting your dreams? Are they encouraging your growth, or are they subtly sabotaging your confidence? The third emotional red flag is constant negativity. Imagine being with someone who consistently drains your energy, criticizes your ideas, or makes you feel inadequate. Mark, an ambitious entrepreneur from Boston, experienced exactly this. Every idea, every enthusiasm he shared with his girlfriend was met with skepticism or outright negativity. Over time, Mark found himself constantly second-guessing his decisions, trapped in a cycle of doubt and diminished self-confidence. As Buddha once taught, we become what we think. Negativity from your partner seeps into your thoughts and gradually erodes your potential. Understand this clearly, you deserve to be with someone who lifts you higher, not someone who pulls you down. I want you to ask yourself honestly, does your partner inspire you, or do they consistently leave you feeling anxious, insecure, and drained? The fourth and perhaps the most subtle red flag is a lack of appreciation. Appreciation may seem small, but its absence creates deep wounds over time. Picture Daniel, an investment banker from Chicago. Daniel gave everything to his relationship, from emotional support to thoughtful gestures. Yet, he felt invisible, as though his efforts were never enough. One evening, Daniel confided, "I feel like I'm pouring into an empty cup." It reminded me of a powerful quote from William James, "The deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated. Without appreciation, even the most resilient hearts can break." Recognize your worth and ensure you receive appreciation that matches your effort and love. So let's bring these lessons together clearly. If you see selfishness, lack of support, constant negativity, or lack of appreciation in your relationship, pause and reflect deeply. These signs aren't trivial, they can profoundly affect your emotional health, your success, and your overall happiness. But remember, recognizing these signs is not just about spotting negativity, it's about reclaiming your power. It's about choosing wisely, confidently, and courageously who deserves your precious energy and who doesn't. Your life transforms beautifully when you surround yourself with people who respect you, encourage you, and cherish you genuinely. Before we move on, let's make this personal. In the comments below, quickly type just one word to describe how you feel after hearing these signs. It could be empowered, concerned, determined, anything that resonates with you right now. It's a simple but powerful act, and your voice matters greatly. Stay with me because next, we will uncover even more critical signs that will help you take control, move forward wisely, and build a life filled with genuine joy, peace, and meaningful relationships. Now, let's explore the next crucial category of signs: financial and emotional manipulation. These signs can be deeply damaging because they drain not just your resources, but your emotional well-being and inner peace. Listen carefully, because recognizing these signs could save you from years of pain, confusion, and lost opportunities. First, let's talk about someone who is money-focused. Many years ago, I knew a talented, hard-working friend named Lucas from Los Angeles, who achieved incredible success as a young real estate investor. On the surface, Lucas had it all, but privately, he was deeply unhappy. He was in a relationship where his girlfriend was far more invested in his wallet than his well-being. Expensive dinners, lavish gifts, and endless shopping sprees became the foundation of their relationship. Yet, despite his generosity, Lucas never felt truly loved or valued. He eventually realized the harsh truth of what Confucius wisely taught us centuries ago: he who chases money alone will find emptiness instead of fulfillment. Money can buy attention, but it will never buy genuine affection or loyalty. As you reflect on your own relationships, ask yourself, is your partner genuinely interested in you as a person, your dreams, and your struggles, or only what you can financially provide? Next, let's explore excessive neediness and dependency. It's natural to lean on each other in relationships, but there's a crucial difference between healthy mutual support and toxic dependency. Imagine Sarah, an accomplished doctor from Miami who found herself in a draining relationship with a partner who constantly demanded emotional and financial support. Initially, Sarah felt needed, even important, but soon she became overwhelmed. Every minor problem became a crisis, every small need was exaggerated. Sarah's life gradually revolved entirely around someone who never reciprocated care or independence. The ancient philosopher Lao Tzu reminds us, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. Healthy relationships empower both partners to grow and thrive independently. They never hold one another hostage emotionally or financially. Now, pause and consider your own situation. Do you feel empowered in your relationship, or are you constantly drained by endless demands and a sense of never being enough? Finally, let's address perhaps the most emotionally draining manipulation of all: being emotionally unavailable. Imagine investing your deepest emotions and vulnerability into someone who keeps you at arm's length, never truly opening their heart in return. This was exactly the scenario Tom, a successful entrepreneur from Austin, faced for nearly 3 years. Tom shared everything with his partner, his fears, dreams, ambitions, but received nothing but coldness and emotional distance in return. He eventually understood the profound wisdom behind the ancient teaching of Aristotle: love is composed of a single soul inhabiting 2 bodies. If your partner is emotionally unavailable, your love becomes one-sided, unfulfilling, and ultimately heartbreaking. Ask yourself this question honestly: do you feel a genuine emotional connection, mutual vulnerability, and warmth, or are you repeatedly left feeling lonely and rejected? But recognizing these patterns is only half the journey. True strength lies in decisive action. If you're facing financial or emotional manipulation, set clear boundaries. Communicate honestly about what you expect and deserve in your relationship. If nothing changes despite your efforts, respect yourself enough to walk away. It will be challenging, but remember, real power lies not in enduring manipulation but in choosing respect and dignity. Before we move forward, I invite you to take a simple yet powerful step right now. If you recognize yourself in any of these scenarios, just type one word below that describes your current feelings. Maybe you feel clarity, perhaps determined, or even ready. Whatever your feeling is, write it down. It reinforces your awareness and empowers you to make wise decisions moving forward. Stay with me, because the next segment will continue to reveal even deeper insights and strategies to build relationships that nourish your spirit, amplify your strengths, and bring profound peace and happiness into your life. Now, let's move on to one of the most crucial categories of signs: commitment issues. These subtle yet powerful signals can silently erode your confidence, your trust, and even your future happiness if you're not careful. Understanding these signs deeply can empower you to make wise, decisive choices that lead you toward meaningful and fulfilling relationships. First, let's address the common excuse we often hear: "I'm always busy." Being busy is part of modern life. It's understandable that careers, responsibilities, and personal goals require attention and dedication. But, let me share with you a personal story about my friend Daniel, an ambitious architect living in Boston. Daniel was deeply invested in his career and valued his time immensely. However, when Daniel genuinely loved someone, he always found ways to prioritize moments of connection, even if brief. Daniel once shared something profound with me, inspired by the words of Marcus Aurelius: "The things we truly value always find their rightful place in our lives." If someone constantly tells you they're too busy, it often means you're simply not a priority in their life. And remember this clearly: no one is ever too busy for what truly matters to them. Take a quiet moment and reflect on your own relationship. Is your partner genuinely busy, or are they simply avoiding deeper intimacy and commitment? The second sign is avoiding meeting your friends and family. This is more significant than it might seem at first. Relationships are not isolated islands, they're integrated deeply into our social and family circles. Years ago, I knew Sophia, a dedicated and compassionate nurse from Austin. Sophia was deeply in love, but something always felt off. Her partner avoided every family gathering, every social event with her friends, consistently finding excuses. Sophia eventually realized something crucial: guided by ancient wisdom from Confucius, real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. Her partner was intentionally avoiding integration into her life to remain disconnected and uncommitted. Your partner's unwillingness to connect with your world is often a silent yet powerful message that they are not serious about a shared future. Pause and ask yourself sincerely: is your partner eager to be part of your life, or are they quietly creating distance? Finally, we must discuss perhaps the most telling sign of all: a clear lack of interest in serious commitment or marriage. Imagine investing years of your life in a relationship, envisioning a shared future, only to discover your partner has no real intention of making a lasting commitment. Jason, a successful financial analyst from Chicago, learned this painful lesson firsthand. He proposed to his long-term partner after several years together, only to be met with hesitation and uncertainty. When pressed, she admitted she never saw marriage in their future. Jason recalled the profound teachings of Socrates at that moment: an unexamined life is not worth living. He realized he had never truly examined his partner's genuine intentions. This awareness was painful yet profoundly freeing. If your partner repeatedly avoids discussing serious commitments or openly rejects long-term plans, recognize this as a critical sign that you are not aligned. Now, remember clearly, recognizing these signs early is not an act of pessimism; rather, it's a courageous step toward clarity, happiness, and fulfillment. Once you acknowledge these signs, the path forward becomes clearer. Have a candid conversation with your partner about your expectations, your needs, and your boundaries. Communication is your first powerful step toward clarity and action. If, after genuine conversations, nothing changes, have the courage and wisdom to move forward alone. Choosing yourself isn't selfish, it's self-respect. As you reflect on these insights, I invite you to take one small yet impactful action right now. If any of these signs resonate deeply, type one simple phrase below in the comments, either, "It's clear now, I'm ready," or, "Moving forward." It's a quick action that signals commitment to your own growth and happiness. Stay with me, because what comes next will provide even deeper understanding and practical strategies to help you build the fulfilling, joyful, and purposeful life you deserve. Now we come to one of the most sensitive yet vital topics, dishonesty and infidelity. These behaviors don't just damage trust, they fracture the very foundations of relationships, causing deep emotional wounds. To help you fully grasp this, I'll guide you through real-world scenarios and timeless wisdom from the greatest thinkers of history. Listen closely, because what you're about to hear could save you from profound heartache and guide you towards inner peace and strength. Let's begin with dishonesty. Imagine pouring your heart into someone, believing their words, only to discover they've hidden critical truths from you. Years ago, I knew a man named Robert, a dedicated business consultant in Chicago. Robert deeply trusted his partner and often ignored subtle inconsistencies in her stories. Gradually, small lies turned into larger deceptions, creating a deep sense of unease within him. When confronted, she justified her lies as harmless or insignificant. But as Plato once warned us, false words are not only evil in themselves, but they infect the soul. Robert realized that dishonesty, even in its smallest form, slowly erodes trust until nothing meaningful remains. Trust is the very oxygen of relationships. Without it, love cannot survive. Reflect on your own relationships for a moment. Has your partner been truthful and transparent? Or have you sensed subtle inconsistencies, small hidden truths that might suggest deeper problems beneath the surface? Next, let's explore the sign of being ex-focused. It's normal to mention past relationships occasionally. After all, our past shapes our present. But when someone continually brings up their ex-partners, it indicates unresolved emotional baggage. Take Rachel's story, for example. Rachel, an attorney in Atlanta, found herself repeatedly feeling second best in her relationship. Her partner constantly mentioned his ex-girlfriend, comparing experiences, habits, even emotions. Rachel soon realized something powerful through the timeless wisdom of the philosopher Lao Tzu, who said, "If you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. If you're at peace, you're living in the present." Her partner wasn't fully present, he was emotionally stuck in the past, leaving Rachel isolated and insecure. Understand this clearly, you deserve to be someone's priority, not merely a shadow of their past. Consider carefully, is your partner fully present with you, building a future together, or are they emotionally attached to a ghost from their past? Finally, let's face perhaps the most devastating issue, flirting and cheating. Infidelity is a deep betrayal that leaves emotional scars long after the relationship ends. I recall vividly the heartbreaking experience of a close friend named Kevin, a talented musician in Nashville. Kevin gave all of himself to his relationship, yet he repeatedly discovered messages and flirtations his partner exchanged with others. Each discovery chipped away at his confidence, self-worth, and trust. He struggled internally, wanting to believe excuses and promises of change. Eventually, Kevin confronted a profound truth, echoed by the wisdom of Seneca: trust, once broken, is rarely ever whole again. Kevin had to reclaim his dignity, strength, and happiness by leaving behind a relationship built on betrayal. Ask yourself honestly, do you feel fully secure, respected, and cherished in your relationship, or are there constant doubts, secrets, and hidden betrayals? Recognizing these signs of dishonesty, unresolved past attachments, and infidelity is painful, but it's also powerfully liberating. Remember clearly, knowing the truth is the first and most critical step toward freedom, growth, and genuine happiness. Once aware, the next step is decisive action. Here's your solution: communicate openly and honestly. Address your concerns directly, with clarity and strength. If the pattern of dishonesty or infidelity continues, summon the courage to move on. Respecting yourself enough to set boundaries isn't just wise, it's necessary for your emotional and spiritual growth. Before we continue, I'd like you to take a simple but meaningful step. If you resonate with any of these signs, type one powerful word in the comments below, something like clarity, truth, or strength. It's a brief yet powerful action that reinforces your decision to choose self-respect and genuine happiness. Stay with me, because our journey doesn't end here. Next, we'll dive deeper into practical solutions and timeless strategies to rebuild trust, regain your inner strength, and create relationships filled with authenticity, fulfillment, and lasting joy. Now, let's dive deeper into one of the most subtle yet dangerous relationship dynamics, manipulative behaviors. Manipulation is rarely obvious, yet it quietly undermines your confidence, your clarity, and your inner strength. Let me illustrate this clearly through real-world experience. A few years ago, I knew a young attorney named Ethan, who worked tirelessly in a prestigious law firm in Washington, D.C. Ethan was confident, capable, and emotionally intelligent. Yet in his personal life, he was caught in a toxic relationship he struggled to leave. His partner often threatened to end their relationship whenever Ethan disagreed or stood his ground on important matters. Each time Ethan asserted himself, she responded by threatening to walk away. Ethan confided in me that he constantly felt anxious, walking on eggshells, fearful of losing the person he thought he loved. This reminded me of a profound lesson from the philosopher Epictetus: freedom is the only worthy goal in life, and it is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Ethan realized his freedom and inner peace were too valuable to sacrifice to emotional threats. He decided to let go, reclaim his independence, and embrace a life of dignity and clarity. Another clear sign of manipulation is when someone consistently avoids responsibility. Every relationship will face conflicts. This is natural and healthy, because growth occurs in resolving these disagreements. But if your partner consistently avoids taking responsibility, constantly shifting blame onto you, beware. Such behavior indicates a profound unwillingness to grow or respect you as an equal. Ancient Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu beautifully stated, "Mastering others is strength, mastering yourself is true power." Relationships should never become power struggles, but rather cooperative journeys toward mutual growth and self-mastery. Finally, be cautious when your partner behaves as though they're doing you a favor by simply being in the relationship. Love is not a charity. You're not inferior or lucky simply because someone chooses to be with you. I recall Maria, an entrepreneur from Austin, Texas, who told me she always felt inferior in her relationship because her partner constantly made her feel grateful just for being there. Eventually, she found guidance in the wise words of Confucius, who said, "Respect yourself, and others will respect you." Maria finally understood her worth, and with newfound strength, chose to end the toxic dynamic that had diminished her confidence for so long. If any of these experiences resonate with you, remember, recognizing manipulative behaviors is your first step toward reclaiming your life. Clearly communicate your boundaries and stand firm. Set clear limits. Healthy love never uses threats, manipulation, or power plays. Instead, true relationships uplift you, inspire you, and nurture mutual respect and growth. Now, before we move forward, let's try something quick yet powerful. If you've experienced manipulation, simply type the words, "taking back control," in the comments below. It's an easy yet meaningful act to reaffirm your power and clarity. Stay with me as we continue to uncover deeper wisdom, helping you build a life defined by genuine love, strength, inner peace, and lasting happiness. Now, let's bring these signs vividly to life by exploring a recent, very public example of a toxic relationship, one that many of you might already be familiar with, the relationship between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. This case became more than just celebrity gossip, it was a powerful lesson on recognizing harmful relationship dynamics early and clearly. Johnny Depp, beloved actor and creative spirit, found himself entangled in a relationship filled with emotional turbulence and manipulation. On the surface, the relationship appeared glamorous and exciting. Yet beneath that glossy exterior were disturbing patterns, frequent conflicts, intense emotional drama, constant blame-shifting, dishonesty, and manipulation. Johnny Depp described his experience as endlessly draining, and shared openly how his self-worth, inner peace, and emotional health were severely impacted. Now, why should their story matter deeply to you? Because these same toxic patterns can appear in our own lives, often quietly, subtly, until we are trapped without even realizing it. We can learn much from Depp's painful yet enlightening journey. Toxic relationships rarely start explosively, instead, they build slowly, undermining our emotional strength bit by bit until we barely recognize ourselves. But here's the powerful truth I want you to remember clearly today: no matter how trapped you feel, there's always a way out, and it begins with decisive awareness and bold action. Let me share some wisdom drawn from centuries-old teachings to guide your recovery process. First, acknowledge clearly what you've experienced. Confucius once said, "Real wisdom begins with naming things accurately." Recognizing your pain is the first vital step to healing. Don't minimize your experiences or deny your pain. Instead, calmly acknowledge that your relationship is toxic, and then make a committed decision to step away. Your awareness is already the first step toward healing. Second, seek support. Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, "If it's humanly possible, you can do it too." Reach out to trusted friends, family, or a professional counselor. Surround yourself with supportive individuals who uplift your spirit and remind you of your true worth. Healing begins when you realize you're not alone, and you never have to walk this path in isolation. Third, focus on rebuilding yourself. Confucius said, "Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall." Rebuild your life around your values, your passions, and your goals. Rediscover who you truly are, what you genuinely love, and what fulfills your soul. Practice mindfulness, meditation, or journaling to reconnect with your inner strength. In doing so, you'll not only recover from emotional wounds, you'll thrive like never before. Johnny Depp himself serves as proof that you can recover, reclaim your dignity, and restore happiness after emotional turmoil. So can you. You're stronger, wiser, and more resilient than you realize, and your future is yours to shape beautifully, wisely, and intentionally. Now, before we move into the final part of this video, I want you to reflect deeply and take a meaningful action right now. If you believe in the power of healing and growth after hardship, simply type, "I believe," in the comments below. These two words might seem small, but they reinforce your commitment to a brighter, happier, and more meaningful life. Stay tuned, because next we will provide clear steps and powerful strategies to help you choose relationships wisely, create lasting inner peace, and build the meaningful, joyful, and successful life you truly deserve. Now, let's quickly recap the essential wisdom we explored today. Here are the 25 critical signs she's not worth your time. Selfishness, unsupportive behavior, constant negativity, lack of appreciation, money-focused attitude, excessive neediness, emotional unavailability, always busy, avoids meeting family and friends, rejects serious commitments, dishonesty, constantly mentioning ex-partners, flirting or cheating, threats to leave, never taking responsibility, behaving superior and manipulative, overly aggressive, makes you consistently sad, drastically different core values, doesn't trust you, refuses responsibility for mistakes, sees dating you as a favor, lacks interest in your goals, emotionally draining, and consistently disrespectful. If you've recognized even one of these signs in your relationship, remember clearly, you've taken the first critical step toward reclaiming your life and happiness. But knowing the signs isn't enough. Let me guide you now through 3 simple yet powerful steps to take action. First, trust your instincts. The great philosopher Socrates taught us that self-awareness is the key to wisdom. Deep down, you already know if something feels wrong or toxic. Trust your inner voice. Trust your intuition. Your instincts are there to protect you, not to deceive you. Second, communicate clearly and directly. Take wisdom from Confucius, who said, "Speak the truth, do not yield to deceit." Calmly yet firmly discuss these issues with your partner. Set clear boundaries, express your feelings openly, and observe carefully how they respond. A healthy partner will listen, respect, and adjust behavior. A toxic partner will dismiss, blame, or deny responsibility. Finally, be ready to walk away. This step is challenging yet empowering. Marcus Aurelius wisely reminded us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. If nothing changes, summon the courage to end the relationship decisively. Your mental health, inner peace, and future happiness depend on your willingness to protect yourself and choose wisely. Your life is far too precious, meaningful, and valuable to waste another second on someone who doesn't truly deserve your energy, your love, or your loyalty. Choose wisely, respect yourself deeply, and watch your life transform beautifully. Now, let's take action together, simple and powerful. If you're ready to honor yourself and your time, simply type the words, "My time matters," in the comments below. It's quick, easy, and it affirms your commitment to self-respect and meaningful relationships. Remember, your time is precious. Don't waste another second on someone who isn't worth it. Like this video, comment your experiences below, and subscribe now for more powerful insights to help you create the peaceful, happy, and deeply fulfilling life you truly deserve.